Welcome to back my channel Old Coins History. This channel is a special place where every video brings you new knowledge, entertainment, and exciting experiences. Here you will find informative content, engaging stories, and everything that sparks your curiosity. Our goal is to make every moment enjoyable, help you learn something new, and be a part of this growing family. So join us and start this wonderful journey today. The 1988 United States $1 coin represents a continuation of a long-standing tradition in American numismatics, carrying both functional value in commerce and symbolic meaning in the story of the nation's coinage. Minted as part of the Roosevelt Dime series, which began in 1946 following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 1988 dime reflects not only the enduring respect for Roosevelt's legacy but also the wider themes of American history, economics, and culture in the late 20th century. At first glance, it might appear as a small, common coin worth only 10 cents, yet when examined deeply, the 1988 dime reveals layers of meaning, touching on its design origins, technical specifications, historical background, cultural symbolism, minting processes, and its role in everyday American life during the late 1980s. To begin with its design, the 1988 dime follows the artistic model that was first introduced in 1946, a year after Franklin D. Roosevelt's passing. The obverse side features a left-facing portrait of Roosevelt, crafted by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. Sinek was tasked with designing a coin that would honor Roosevelt's immense contributions as the 32nd President of the United States, most notably his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his founding role in the March of Dimes, which raised money to fight polio, a disease Roosevelt himself battled. By 1988, the portrait had been in use for more than 40 years, becoming one of the most recognizable designs in American currency. Roosevelt's profile is bold yet dignified, showing him in a serious pose that reflects the strength of leadership he demonstrated throughout his presidency. Surrounding the portrait are inscriptions. The word, liberty, to the left, symbolizing the nation's guiding principle, the motto, in God we trust, below the chin, representing America's moral foundation, and the date 1988 placed to the right of the portrait, confirming the year of issue. Additionally, the initials, JS, representing John Sinek, appear at the base of Roosevelt's neck, a subtle reminder of the designer's contribution. On the reverse side, the dime of 1988 maintains the iconic imagery that has characterized the Roosevelt dime since its introduction. At the center stands a torch, symbolizing liberty and enlightenment, flanked by two branches, an olive branch on the left, representing peace, and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing strength and independence. These elements together present a visual statement of America's national ideals, the pursuit of liberty, the importance of peace, and the enduring strength of the Republic. Above this design is the inscription, United States of America, while the phrase, e pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one, appears across the lower central field, underscoring the unity of the nation. At the bottom is the denomination, written as, 1 dime, making clear the coin's value. The reverse design is both simple and profound, balancing artistry with clarity, and it has remained unchanged for decades because of its effectiveness in capturing American ideals. Technically, the 1988 dime belongs to the clad coinage era, which began in 1965 after the United States Mint removed silver from circulating dimes and quarters. Before 1965, dimes were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, but rising silver prices led to a shortage of coins and the need for a more cost-effective metal composition. By 1988, the dime was made of a clad sandwich, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This combination produced a coin that looked silver in color but contained no actual silver content. The total weight of the coin is 2.268 grams, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a thickness of 1.35 millimeters. The edges of the coin are reeded, containing 118 tiny grooves around the circumference. These reeds originally served as a security feature on earlier silver coins, preventing people from shaving off small amounts of precious metal, but by 1988 they continued as a traditional design element, giving the coin both a tactile and aesthetic quality. The mintage of 1988 dimes was extensive, as the dime remains a vital denomination in circulation. The coin was struck at multiple facilities: Philadelphia, bearing no mint mark; Denver, bearing A, D, and San Francisco, bearing an S. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced hundreds of millions of coins for general circulation, ensuring that the dime was readily available for everyday use across the United States. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins, specially made for collectors using highly polished dies and blanks, resulting in a mirror-like finish. Proof sets from 1988 are prized by collectors for their quality and presentation. These proof coins, unlike circulation strikes, were never intended for spending but instead served the numismatic community. The high mintages of the regular issues meant that the dime was not scarce, but condition, strike quality, and mint mark variations could make certain examples more collectible. For instance, high-grade uncirculated coins certified by grading services such as PCGS or NGC might command higher values in the collector market, particularly if they show full torch details on the reverse, a designation known as full torch, or FT. The historical context of 1988 also enriches the story of the dime. The United States in 1988 was experiencing a period of economic growth under President Ronald Reagan, who was nearing the end of his presidency. Inflation had been tamed compared to the 1970s, and the American dollar maintained strong purchasing power, with the dime serving as a practical and frequently used coin in everyday transactions. 10 cents could buy a local newspaper, a gumball, or contribute to a payphone call, items that were still common parts of American daily life at the time. Though small in denomination, the dime carried importance in both physical commerce and psychological perception, reminding people of value and thrift in a society that was shifting increasingly toward credit card use in electronic transactions. In this way, the 1988 dime represents not only a coin but a cultural artifact of American life in the late 1980s, when physical coins and cash still dominated commerce. From a collector's perspective, the 1988 dime is part of the broader Roosevelt Dime series, which by then had already been minted for over 4 decades. Numismatists studying the coin often look at die varieties, mint errors, and strike differences. For instance, certain 1988 dimes may exhibit doubling in the inscriptions or misaligned strikes, which can make them more valuable. Errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, or wrong metal strikes are rare but highly sought after. Additionally, the condition of the coin plays a major role in its desirability. While billions were minted, finding examples that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition with no wear is more difficult, and such coins can be worth significantly more than their face value. Proof versions from San Francisco, especially those graded as perfect PR70, are considered treasures for modern coin collectors, even though their intrinsic metal value remains modest. Symbolically, the 1988 dime serves as a continuing tribute to Franklin D. Roosevelt and his connection to the fight against polio. The March of Dimes campaign, initiated during Roosevelt's presidency, successfully raised money for research and eventually contributed to the development of vaccines that nearly eradicated polio in the United States. The dime itself became a symbol of that charitable effort, linking the coin's denomination directly to the cause. Thus, every Roosevelt dime, including the 1988 issue, carries a deeper layer of meaning beyond simple commerce. It serves as a reminder of philanthropy, resilience, and the collective action of ordinary Americans to conquer disease. Another way to understand the 1988 dime is through its role in the everyday experiences of ordinary people. In 1988, vending machines, laundromats, arcade games, and parking meters often required dimes. A handful of dimes could make the difference between catching a bus, playing a few games at the arcade, or making a phone call from a payphone booth. Children often saved dimes in piggy banks, and coin rolls of dimes were standard at banks and grocery stores. In this sense, the coin was deeply woven into the fabric of daily routines, its small size belying its significance. To many, it represented accessibility. Anyone could carry a few dimes in their pocket, and they had real purchasing power in everyday life. Today, such uses have diminished, but in 1988 the dime remained central to small-scale transactions. Economically, the 1988 dime is also a reflection of the shift in coinage from precious metals to base metals, demonstrating how the United States adapted to global market conditions. Though it contains no silver, the coin's durability and design ensured that it continued to fulfill its function without interruption. Its copper-nickel composition made it inexpensive to produce while maintaining a silvery appearance, satisfying both economic efficiency and public expectation. The decision decades earlier to remove silver from dimes was controversial at the time, but by 1988 it had become fully accepted, and the coin was judged purely by its utility, not its bullion value. This reveals how society's perception of money can change over time, moving from intrinsic to symbolic value. Looking at the broader timeline, the 1988 dime stands as one of many annual issues in a series that has remained remarkably stable. Unlike quarters, which later introduced the 50-state quarters program in 1999, or pennies, which saw design changes for Lincoln's bicentennial in 2009, the Roosevelt dime's design has not undergone major changes. This stability has made it a constant presence in American currency. To collectors and historians, the consistency of the dime series highlights the enduring respect for Roosevelt and the values he represents. For this reason, many see the Roosevelt dime not simply as a coin but as a miniature monument, quiet, everyday, yet deeply meaningful. In the grander context of numismatics, the 1988 dime also illustrates how common coins can serve as historical documents. While rare coins and ancient pieces often attract more attention, everyday issues like the 1988 dime provide a more intimate view of society, since they passed through the hands of millions of people and witnessed the ordinary transactions of life. Each coin might have been part of someone's morning coffee purchase, a child's arcade adventure, or a payphone call to a loved one. If we think imaginatively, a 1988 dime could have traveled through countless pockets and purses, embodying countless small moments in people's lives, making it more than just a unit of currency. It is also a token of lived experience. Please like and subscribe to my channel.